What's up? So usually I go live regularly on Mondays to do the Monday morning prayer, but I've been waiting for a few weeks to go live to share an announcement about a new book. If you have been following my posts, whether on my personal page or on my photography page, you see me drop little nuggets about taking pictures for a project that I'm working on or working on a project that I'm already excited about. And that project was this book, a book entitled We'll Leave the Light On For You. And what the book is about is really just about the legacy of a family home. I think I want to read the book. I don't know if that'll spoil it if I read the book and you all don't buy it, but I think I want to read the book. It's my book. I can do what I want. I'm going to read the book. So the title of the book is We'll Leave the Light On For You. And the other thing that I really am proud about, I did both the words and I decided to join two of my passions together, which I love writing and I also love photography. So I put those two things together to create this book. So the title of it is We'll Leave the Light On For You. And this book is dedicated to my grandparents and my parents. And I just said, thank you for always ensuring we'll have a place to call home. All right, that's the inside. Let's just see the photographs up close. So it says, there wasn't much to do in their small town, so the children usually rode their bikes, climbed trees, or played a game of land until they were out of breath. Or until it got too dark to see their hands in front of their faces, because in the country, nighttime dark is the kind of dark that takes a few minutes for their eyes to adjust to. At sunset, the porch lights would start popping on, and one by one, the children would say, "See you later," and run home. One night, as the family was settling down, the daughter asked, "Why do you turn on the porch light each night? We know how to find our way around the neighborhood and the yard." And if my cousins are on, you should recognize these, recognize the pictures. Mom looked at Dad, smiled, and said, "It's to help guide you home. I know you can navigate the dark, but why struggle to see if you don't have to?" Dad finished by saying, "We'll always leave the light on for you." Some years passed, and the children went from playing in the yard to standing around talking about the latest fads and trends, or staring into their phones, sharing funny memes and videos. They often lost track of time. Okay. Just like when they were little, their parents, one by one, would begin turning on the porch lights as it got dark. That was the unspoken cue to wrap up the conversations and head inside. One night, the teenage daughter asked her parents, "Why do you still turn the porch lights on when the sun sets? I'm older now and I can use the flashlight on my phone to help me see." Dad looked at Mom, then said, "We know, but the porch light is more powerful than your cell phone and provides more light. We don't ever want you to struggle to find your way home," Mom added. "We'll always leave the light on for you." More time passed, and many of the neighborhood children went off to college, the workforce, or the military. Even so, as night fell, their parents made sure the porch lights were on. Oh yeah, I see my cousins on here. Y'all see it in here? Sometimes days, weeks, months, or even years would pass before the neighborhood children came to visit. However, each time they came, they found the porch lights on. On a visit home, the young adult daughter asked her aging parents, "I noticed the porch light on. Do you still turn it on each night?" And the pictures, they're actually a combination of my grandma's house in King Street, my granny's house in Dorchester, and then also my parents' house in Dorchester. Mom gave Dad's hand a gentle squeeze and said, "Yes, we do. We want to make sure your path is clear when you come home." Dad added with a smile, "We'll always leave the light on for you." More time passed and the parents' steps grew shorter. They needed assistance with some daily chores and didn't do much other than read, watch TV, and drink coffee. Yet each night, one of them slowly made their way to the light switch to ensure the porch light was on. This is my favorite page, and I almost cried when I did this picture, but I held it together. One day, all the children and their families came home for a visit. They watched their parents move slowly, hands on the rails, one careful step after another, ensuring that everyone had what they needed to be comfortable. When night fell, they watched their mom make her way to the light switch to turn on the porch light. When the family was sitting around after dinner, the grandchildren listened to stories about their parents growing up. One of the grandchildren asked, "Grandma and Granddaddy, why do you turn the porch light on each night? Do you expect visitors?" That's my granny's hand. She's my only living grandparent. And I had to do some special Photoshop. If you remember a few weeks ago, it was just a picture of her hand on a sheet of paper. And of course I had to do that and take a picture of the light switch and put it together to make that picture. But that's probably one of my favorite pages in the book. Back to the story. The grandparents looked around at their children and grandchildren and smiled. Then Grandma said, "The light isn't for visitors. We turn the lights on so you and your parents can easily find your way home." Another grandchild responded, "But we don't live here. This is your house." Granddaddy replied, "You're right that you don't live here and this is our house, but this is our family home. It's a place that is always available and open to you, your parents, your future children, and their children for generations to come." Grandma continued, "Your granddaddy and I worked hard to build and maintain this house so that no matter what, our children and their children would always have a place to call home." And then this is also one of my favorite pages. A few years ago at my grandma's house in Kingstree, this stump was brought back, and this is one of the stumps off of my grandparents' original, their original house that now sits in front of the house there in Kingstree. And that's the end. There's a spot for people to put a picture of their family home. And then I end it with pictures of my grandparents, my parents, and my other set of grandparents. So this is the new book that I have out there. If you are in the type of family where you all have a family home, I encourage you to get this as a gift. I do have both the hardback and softback copies. The softback copies are on Amazon. And to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of softback. I don't really like the way it looks. But the hardback, I was happy and excited to get this. Some little printing stuff went on where all the pages aren't as clear as I would like. But yeah, I think it captured what I wanted. A few years ago, it was after Secret's Day, where I just got the notion, like, to write a book, to send the message that this house is available for you. I think one thing that my parents have done, and I feel like my grandparents did, well, I know I've never met either one of my grandfathers, but with my grandmothers, I feel like they made sure we knew that the house was open to us. And I feel like to this day, you know, God forbid anything happened with me and my house, but I could go home to my parents' house. And then my grandmother's house, nobody lives there, but if I needed a place, like, I'm confident I could go and have a roof over my head. And so I just wanted to capture that in this book. And like I said, all of the pictures are either from my grandparents' house, my parents' house, and then there's one final picture in here that is from the house that I bought here in Orangeburg. So anyway, this is my new book. I'll drop a link, I think, in the chat. Yeah, I'll drop a link in the chat, and I'll take a picture of the book and post it on my page. So if you're interested in getting a copy, I'd love for you to buy a copy. Again, you can get the hardback. The hardback is $15. The softback is on Amazon, and it's, I think, $7. Yeah, I think it's $7. But I'll drop both of the links. I'd love your support either way. And I am going to do a bulk order of the hardback copies. So I'll also put like in the description. And if you're in Orangeburg, or if you're somewhere I don't have to ship it, I can put your order in with mine and hand deliver it. So thank y'all for hanging out with me on live. And again, this is my new book. Check it out.